And as you mentioned, legal analyst Misty Marris is here. I'm just going to scoot her in. This is breaking news, so we're just bringing her right in because we're here at the courthouse together. You just came over to tell me what the judge said. Explain to us what this means.
Yeah, so this was huge because what the judge admonished the defense team, saying that Combs had been engaging with the jury, meaning that he's making direct eye contact with the jury and having a reaction, nodding his head. The judge said this is jury interference. It's to influence the jury, and actually referenced that the defense was warned not only today during Bongolin's testimony, but also had been warned previously during the testimony of George Kaplan. So this feeds into a federal rule which relates to disruptive conduct by the defendant in the courtroom. And the rule says that if somebody is warned by the judge, if the defendant is warned, but the conduct continues, one of the consequences could be removal from the courtroom for the remainder of the trial. And Laura, that is of huge consequence to the defense.
Yeah, and all along we've been seeing Sean Combs, passing notes, and that's allowed with his defense. He's been very active. He's been paying attention, and we have heard of him nodding along during some of the testimony, but this is something different.
Correct. So engagement with your attorneys, passing notes during testimony, even being a bit reactive to witness testimony, looking at the witness and perhaps having a reaction and looking engaged, all fine. It's when it comes down to engagement with jurors and something that could tend to influence them in some way. And what the court looks at is their influence or intimidation. Is that what the defendant is doing, and could it have that impact? So here the judge was taking a very strong stance. And keep in mind, from the defense perspective, that would be the most severe consequence, removal from the courtroom, because every defendant has the right to face their accusers. So it would set up a very significant appellate issue. The judge doesn't want to do it unless he has to, but the warning is out there, the warning shot has been fired, and it's something that could happen.
Wow, that's so interesting. And we've also heard that Sean Combs allegedly had been trying to have some witness tampering, calling people from jail, trying to get to some witnesses. So there's been this kind of alleged overreach throughout getting to this point.
Certainly. And so the judge, again, taking the legal team aside, and this was not in the presence of the jury, right, just so everybody understands that this is something that happens with the parties, the prosecutors and defense. And we didn't know before that this admonishment had happened previously.
Right.
So this is not the first time the defense team has heard this. The judge even saying, was I not clear this morning?
Wow.
And the defense team saying, yes, you were clear, it won't happen again, and that they'll speak to the client. But the consequence, especially with multiple warnings, could be removal from the courtroom. And the reason this matters is the jury, it's not going to be lost on the jury if Sean Combs is not in the courtroom for the remainder of his very serious criminal trial. And there won't really be an explanation. So it could be something that would be deemed an adverse inference, and the defense does not want that to happen. It would be very detrimental. Certainly we know the jury has eyes on him, and the problem is that he's making eyes at the jury. So we'll see what the judge does with this.
All right, Misty Marris, thank you so much for that explanation. And as we continue to move through this day of testimony, we are still expecting that witness, Jane, one of the accusers in this case. So a huge day here at the Sean Combs trial, and we'll continue to bring you up to date. I just want to get that to you, Nichole, because as Misty said, this is a really big deal.
This is a really big deal. So yeah, we will continue to follow along with that. Laura Ingle live for us there in New York, along with Misty Marris. Thank you both.